Hello. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Let me get myself all fixed up here. I can never see myself until I start the live. So, okay. Hello. Yay. Hi, Victor. Oh, so good. Nice to see you. Hi. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Chris. Hi, Geraldine. I see you up there. It took me a second because I had to fix the chat. The chat, for some reason, wasn't showing for me. Hi, Brayden. Nice to see you. As you can see, my hair has been reblued. Yes. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh, it looks so much better. I'm back to my normal blue. And I got my nails done too. I'm going to show you. Look how pretty these are. Can you see them? You can kind of really see the sparkles. But look at you got little snowflakes on them. She talked me into that last minute, so got that. Oh, thanks, guys. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do love this blue. I do. Although I will tell you guys, I was a little bit, whenever I get my hair done, okay, I'm always like, I'm ready for that change, right? And then I go and I get it done and I miss my old hair. When I do, I miss the turquoise, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll miss the length or whatever. That's why I stopped cutting it. I used to cut it like up to here, you know? And she did a really good job. The lady did a really, really, really nice job on it. So okay, so let's see what else. Holidays are fast approaching. I finally got my Christmas tree. Oh, nice to see you, Terry. Finally, and James or Jason. My bad, Jason. My hair looks more blue. It is. It is. It's actually called sky blue, which I was like, it's funny to me. So yeah, I almost actually got it cyan blue, which is turquoise. So yeah, we're almost to the new year. I just got my Christmas tree up. It was sitting up for a couple days, actually. It's a fake one, so it took a minute to like fluff it all up because it's been a crazy jam-packed week. I don't know who else has been having issues at all, but Mercury retrograde has been kicking my ass. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest ways you can know you're in a Mercury retrograde is if you have any car issues, because every time a retrograde comes along, not that I don't have car issues other times, but let me tell you, oh man, they hit me hard. Literally had to take my car back into the shop 2 days in a row because once they fixed one thing, that needed fixing, which was my antifreeze containment. Apparently, the pressure was leaking. So pressure wasn't full force. So when the pressure came back, a hose broke, and I'm just like, guys, this car, Anyway, Mercury retrograde. So I also did get my Journey to Truth conference tickets before the Black Friday sale was over. So I'm definitely going to be going to the Journey to Truth conference. If anyone's looking to meet me in person, it's going to be in May in Grafton, Illinois. And I'll be going to the Full Disclosure Now conference in July. Definitely still want to hype both of those things up. So that way, anyone who wants to come and hang out with the community here, right? Come and meet me in person. Definitely come and hang out. Yay, Victor's going to be in Grafton. Happy to hear that. It's fairy blue. I like that. Victor. That's cute. Okay. So put my vape down. It's like sometimes you just need something in your hand, it's like a pacifier, right? Just calm me down because I am a little nervous for today. I will say this too. I thought this was kind of funny because I didn't mention this last time. But the telepathic reviews that I get coming in about the different parts of my stream. I remember I mentioned last week that I sensed like I had some telepathic communications that felt like these really big energies, right? Coming. And I had an idea of who I thought one of them might be, you know what I'm saying? The big energies that were coming through and talking to me. And I'm pretty sure I was right about it now because someone came along and wrote Happy Thanksgiving in last week's stream. And that person is Anthony from Canadian Awareness. Let me tell you, this guy is super cool. If you aren't following Anthony from Canadian Awareness on YouTube, that's his channel. Why aren't you? Because it is seriously some of the best videos, best information that you could possibly get about the reptilian collective, the Colossus specifically from him, but I'm sure he has multiple groups that he's connected with, and his videos get me so excited. In fact, they were so inspiring to me that it has been pushing me forward even more. It's like things he's covering is things that I've been wondering for a while. In fact, I have one thing to mention about it, that he brought something to my attention about the higher self, merging with the higher self, right? And so I wanted to put this out there because it was the first time I'd heard this concept put this way, and it felt so right on. And so basically he was saying that you can't merge totally with your higher self, with your full higher self, because it would just be too much for one person. And he said, so, but you can merge with fractals of your higher self. And I thought that makes a lot more sense to me, because my soul braid walk-in, right, was a white reptilian, a hybrid, okay, and a human, like that's going to be me from the future, is what my understanding kind of is, which, you know, these things are hard to understand with the human mind. So like in order for spirit to talk to me and really communicate the messages properly, they only have things that this body has been exposed to, the brain, okay, like that's what they have to pull from. So if you don't have a proper example, the best they can give you, you know what I'm saying, is going to be not exactly the exact clarification of it. Like I'm trying to word this right. Like it's not going to be the exact way to understand it sometimes if you don't have the things for spirit to pull from in order to share it with you. So basically what he was saying was that we could merge with our higher self fractals, and that this was part of the purpose of being human and being on our soul's mission here, right? And so I totally related to that, and it clicked. So I'm really excited for his next videos. Like I'm saving one for tomorrow. I know it's already out, his last video, and I'm super excited about it. Every time I watch this guy's videos, I'm like, I can feel it. I can feel that reptilian energy, and I don't know why, guys, but I'm going to be completely real with you here. Whenever I get around someone that has a connection to true, authentic reptilian energy, like the kind that Anthony is in contact with, I get so just excited. I get so like a fire. You know what I'm saying? It's like this fire. It's like, oh my God. I just want to bite or something like this. Like, I don't even know where it comes from, but it's like, it's just something, it just gets me so wound up, or so to speak. I can't even find the right word for it, but it's like, this is right. This is real. This is true. Oh my God. I can relate to this. I'm the vibe, you know? And so that's what happens whenever. So I can really tell when someone has something like that related to them, because I can sense that always happens to me. I've noticed that. You know who else has some connections to reptilian energy, which I thought this was really interesting. If you know this person, their name is Ken Rolla. Okay, now this guy is a brilliant guy too. He presented at ESETI quite a few times. He did all this technology for. He made these pyramids, right? They were, what was it called? It's called a rust shield. Right. And what it did was it protect your house from EMF. But what he found out, what it really does, and he couldn't even advertise this when he had a website which went out of business, which I'm really bummed about. It was called freshandalive.com. And Facebook wouldn't even let you put his website in the messenger comment. That's how like restricted his stuff is. Really real healing stuff. But anyway, he found out that these rest shields that he created, okay, this millionaire down in Florida put them all around his home because of the hurricanes and stuff like that. And it literally created like a bubble around his house and protected his house from hurricanes and stuff. It's like a weather modification type of device. I don't even know I don't know, but it's like a protector. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that was the right terminology, but anyway. Okay. So I think that might clear it up for all the things that I wanted to update. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, there was one. I guess there was one other little thing. I did want to put a little correction, because I hate when I mess up something in my streams, and then I'm like, damn, it's out there now, and I got that little part wrong. And I hate when I do that and I don't offer up a correction for it. So this is totally like if you watch the stream where I talked about my contact with Clifford Mahudi, right? I remember more of it now. And the thing was, the reason that he came to visit me wasn't just because he did see me dance at ECETI. I didn't dance for him at ECETI because I danced for, it was in honor of Chief Golden Light. I think Chief Golden Light Eagle, or Chief Golden Light Feather. I can't remember. But at the time, that was who I danced for. And he was there. And I'm pretty sure he did see me there. You know what I'm saying? But after, when I found out he passed away at my own home, that was where I danced. And it did. We had this connection, and I had this conversation with him, and it was really beautiful. You know, like, he was a really amazing person. He had a really great presentation too at ECETI. So anyway, just wanted to put that in there. So, because there are people that are catching up with my streams lately, and they're watching the parts one by one, and they're leaving me comments, and I'm very, very happy with that. And I appreciate all of you for being here. And, you know, so let's get on with the stream though. Okay. So I'm just going to take a look at the chat though real quick before we start. All right. I will not change my audio settings at all, Terry. I will not touch them. I'm looking at it so I can see exactly where the setting is, so I know for next time. I try not to touch it. The cord is a little bit messed up. All right. So this is welcome back to Blue Fairy Origins story. We're doing part 3.5 to 4. And the reason I put 3.5 is because I didn't finish up my last one that much. I told you guys that because it was just a little too much. So now I'm back to finish that one. Okay. So where did we leave off? We left off at December 2020. December 2020. Yes. It was right after the Gifts of Spirit meditation where I was given my blue fairy heart, right? There was a chestahedron, found out later on, right? These things always get confirmed later on, and that's part of the reason that it makes it more meaningful when that happens. Okay? And so I had been talking to a wonderful man, and I was dating online, basically, a wonderful long-distance relationship type thing with Robert Johnston, otherwise known as RJ. Okay. And so, yeah, we were going into the new year. I'm trying to remember all the little things. We talked about the Earth Star Healer and those synchronicities. Yeah. And then we're going into where I'm about to go to the Starseed Adventure Conference. This is where we are at now in the story. We're walking myself up to the actual sacred marriage ceremony that I had, or the chemical wedding, right? As Aleister Crowley put it, okay, which is going to be my divine union with my higher self fractal, okay, and some other things that were going on, because there were some other things that I asked for too that I know were a part of this whole ordeal, right? So it all started though, me wanting to go to this place, okay, because like I said, I've been doing a Course in Miracles. I've been trying to heal myself and heal my wounds. I wanted to change. I wanted a real change. I didn't want to keep doing the patterns that I'd been doing for all these years. And it was time to really look at them and see, where did these patterns come from? So that way I could break them. Okay. But the first thing I want to mention before I get into the childhood wound patterning, because that's where we're about to step into next, because I managed, because we're reflectors for each other. We're mirrors for each other. Okay. So this pattern was showing up again with RJ, and I had to figure that out. But before that, okay, the manifestation of me even going to the Starseed Adventure Conference, right? So what happened with this was I really desired and wanted to go, right? I wanted to be activated is what it was. I had heard that going to these types of things could activate you, all right, being around people of these different frequencies and stuff like that. Like we can pick up different codes from each other and things. And I was like, man, I want to be activated. I want to go to this event. And I'd already been to ECETI that past year. And I couldn't really afford to go, right? I didn't really have a lot of money at the time. I didn't even know for sure if I would be able to get the time to be able to do that and leave my children. So I turn again to God, because I'm doing these manifestation pages and stuff now, right? And so I put it out there to God, and I just said, you know, God, I really want to go to this event. And, but I can't really afford it. So I could probably buy the plane ticket, but I can't really afford a ticket. And I was like, you know, but if I'm truly meant to go and I'm going to be activated at this event, God, then I just need you to make sure to clear the way, right? Always clear the way, make it happen. I would like to possibly to have it be free for me, the ticket to be free. I said I'd even be willing to work. I'd be willing to volunteer there. Like maybe she has a job for me. Someone, the person running the event, maybe they have the job for me or something. And maybe if it's possible, even I could get paid for doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be like a good turnaround, right? And so, see, because this is now when things started picking up, like every time I would ask something, I feel like that was in alignment, within 24 hours, I would get that confirmation. So I had no idea who was throwing this event at the time. Okay. But apparently she had been following my Facebook page. Okay. And so she was the woman who was going, sharing her story, kind of going after, the big dogs at the time in the SSP, the Corey Good, we'll just say it. So this woman was going after him at the time, and I was there, and I was supportive towards her and stuff like that. And out of nowhere, she writes me with the next day after I make this request. She writes me the next day, and she says, "Oh my God, how would you like to come to the Starseed Adventure Conference? And you could volunteer for me. You could come, and you wouldn't have to pay for a ticket that way." And she said, "And I might even be able to pay you if we make enough money, so how about you just go ahead and you can come and we can do this thing together, because I've noticed how you've been supportive of me. And so I would like to offer this to you in return." And so she offers me up this opportunity to, like, everything I just asked for. She basically comes to me and she says, "Yeah, we're going to let you have this." So I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm in alignment. I'm ready to go here. Right. Okay. So now we're back to focusing on all the healing that I'm getting ready to do right before this event, because some very strange things started happening as I was preparing for this activation after my blue fairy heart had been given to me, but it was not activated yet. I could tell that. Okay. I could tell it naturally, instinctually. When I saw the heart that they'd given me, I knew it needed to be on fire. And they told me, "Don't worry, you'll know when that happens." And I'm like, okay, I'll know when it happens. Right. Okay. So now, I was working with the Earth Star Healer, and I was doing these containers that she had, right? And one of them was a sacred sexuality container. Okay, so this was something that was on my mind, because ever since I had told the truth to my ex, so to speak, right? And I had decided, no, I don't want to do that pattern of the way I've been approaching relationships, the way I've been approaching sexuality. It wasn't really going that great for me. I was just like, I need it to be cleared, God. Like, I need to know what sexuality is supposed to look like when it hasn't been corrupted and influenced by all of these other things outside of ourselves, right? The culture, the way pornography is portrayed, the way programs show us how sexuality is expressed even. I was like, this was just not satisfying to me anymore. I'd been through so much trauma at that point too. It was kind of like, I didn't even know how I was ever going to get to a place where I would be okay in a normal type of sexual type of relationship. Quite, to be quite honest, like I didn't even know how I was going to get to that. So honestly, it made it feel a lot safer to be in these online long distance relationships. Does that make sense? I'm sure it kind of does. So it was safer for me. This felt safe. All right. And so I was talking, I was seeing Robert, and every now, and it was like, we would watch these movies together like once a week. Well, then it started to slow down. Okay. And I noticed that we weren't really talking as much. And then I started noticing, because see, me and him had this similar friend. We had this shared friend. Her name was Mary. All right. And this is really vulnerable, guys. Like, I'm really kind of nervous about this one today, because it's putting myself out there, but this is what I'm here to do. Right. So I'm doing this. All right. So I would notice that they would be interacting on Facebook with each other. And even though I hadn't really heard from him in a while, and I noticed I was jealous. Okay. I was like jealous. I'm like, why am I jealous? That drove me nuts. In fact, jealousy drives me nuts. In fact, I am not cool with jealousy at all. And when I feel sparks of jealousy inside me, okay, my immediate response is to want to root it out. find out where it's coming from, why it's there, and to root it out. Okay. So now I'm feeling this jealousy and I'm like, why? There's no, like we have, like people have separate relationships. There's no reason for me to feel jealous about that. I know that they are just friends. Like what is going on there? And so I just asked God, help me figure out where this jealousy is coming from and why I'm feeling this way, because there's no reason for me to, like in the past, when I would be jealous of others, like okay, with my ex, I'm saying, and other girls, I would immediately, go into attack mode, and be like, well, who is this person? Like that type of stuff. Like you immediately feel that I want to just like, what is going on here? And I was not going to do that anymore. I'm trying to do stuff completely different. So I asked God to help me. Like, okay, where is this coming from? And how do I fix this? How do I clear it? And it just so happens that after doing this meditation, God guided me to the pattern. All right. And so what he did was he showed me an experience from when I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten. I'm like, this is where these things come from, you guys. Like the patterns repeat and repeat and repeat until you figure out that this is where it's coming from. Because as a child, this is where all this stuff is being set up. Okay. Because we're creator beings. Okay. So things that happen to you in your childhood, the way you perceive them, because it's not so much just what happens to you, it's how you interpret them and how you perceive them. How you internalize those things. And you'll carry that thing with you forward, and you'll just attract that same pattern, that same situation until you figure out the lesson. Okay, so they took me to this experience when I was in kindergarten. This is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing, so cringe, whatever. So I was 5 years old, and I had this best friend. Her name was Mary. Isn't that funny? Her name was Mary. And the girl I'm jealous over with Robert here, what was her name? Oh, her name was Mary too. Okay. Well, my friend Mary, she had a boyfriend in class, right? And her boyfriend was named Ryan G. I remember that, which I thought this was another kind of funny coincidence. Robert Johnston, who we call RJ, and then we got Ryan G. So RJ and RG, which I'm like, those can look very similar, even letters wise. Okay. You can play around with the letters. So I'm like, okay, and so my friend Mary, she had this boyfriend in kindergarten, and I actually liked him. I had a crush on this guy. And I remember I was drawing a picture one time. I was in my own little world, and I was just drawing a picture. It was a picture of me and him holding hands. And someone came over, and because I was like in my own little world, and they asked me like what I was drawing, and I said what I was drawing. This is me and Ryan G holding hands. And they're like, "Oh my God, you like Ryan G, but that's Mary's boyfriend," And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like now the whole class knew I had this crush on this guy, and I'm just like, "Oh my God!" And I felt so guilty because it was like, that's, not only is it embarrassing because now everyone knows that I like this guy, but also him and my best friend, like that's, they like each other, blah, 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 like whatever kindergarten me was telling myself, And so here I was confronted with very similar feelings, very similar pattern of being jealous of a girl who was with a guy that I happen to have feelings for, right? And so I was able to go back and, because I was already doing this type of, what is the word for it? I was already doing this type of healing to myself. I was already doing this type of connecting with the past versions of myself, trying to send and correct the places where I got things wrong, the places where I misperceived things as a child, and then carried that forward, not even knowing that there was a misperception there. And then that created distortions in my overall belief system that I carried with me, right? And so I went back to that 5-year-old version of me, right? And I just tried to tell her, like, you're only 5. Like, there's nothing to feel guilty about. There was nothing to feel ashamed of. I feel like that is the biggest, probably one of the biggest patterns that I fight against, that you self-punish for, is that sexual guilt, sexual shame, because that is what that wound left behind was embarrassment. I need to be ashamed of my natural feelings, my natural attractions, like that's not okay. That's not acceptable. Think of all the things that someone would tell themselves as a child, not knowing better, and so I figured this out and I was able to fix that right then. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that jealousy was fixed. That was solved. Okay. And I always do this every time I feel any type of jealousy. I try to find it and I try to remind myself, like, no, everyone has their own separate relationships, and how you deal with the one you have, particularly you just got to have good communication techniques. And so I was willing to go, and I was willing to tell him, like, hey, now that I figured this out, because I wasn't going to go before then. I wasn't going to do what I've done in the past and run and jump the gun and be like, like, well, how do you feel about me then? You're over here talking to her and all this, and how do you feel? But what about me over here? And so I wasn't going to do that. And so now that I figured out this thing, and I never would think about it. I never would have found this without him, without this experience. I never would have found that jealousy. Okay. Not only that, yes, I remember that now too. Okay. I already had another previous wound that I had healed that connected to this one. Okay. And it was this. Okay. Now, again, I'm doing it, ripping it off here, guys. I'm showing it all. This is the raw, uncensored truth when it comes to this type of stuff. Okay. So when I was in my 20s, all right, I moved to Florida to go to school for midwifery. I was married at the time, and I've already talked about the fact that this is where I learned this coping mechanism of turning my back on my partner and looking for connection outside of him. All right. And so I made this connection with another man in Tennessee at one of my workshops, actually, for midwifery. I made this connection with this man, and it was, I really thought that I was like in love with him at the time. And I thought, yeah, I was like, move to Florida. I'm going to go to school down there. Go ahead and move to Florida so that way we can be together down there. But by the time, and he did. And by the time I got down there, my feelings had already changed. So, but I still cared about him. But I figured out, like, okay, no, I wasn't in love with this guy. This was an infatuation. And even though I care about him, I'm just not at that place yet. And so, but at the time, I knew no one. I knew no one down there. So we were still hanging out all the time. And he was still coming to my apartment all the time, even though he wasn't living with me or anything like that. That had been the original plan. But I was like, when I got down there, I was like, I can't, Sorry, guys. I was a little bit of a crazy bitch back then. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, move down here, and then I'll move down there. And nope, sorry, you can't move in with me. But so we still had this connection, and we still kept seeing each other. And I had this girlfriend in my class. Her name was Andrea. I love her. Still send her thoughts and prayers, because she was the one that brought me the book Initiation. So she was really integral in my life of my life story and healing. So one day, me and her, we were hanging out. We were talking. We were driving from the clinical that we had to go to back to the school. And I kind of told her my situation. I was kind of like, yeah, like this guy, he moved down here to be with me. And now but I don't have those feelings for him like that anymore. And actually, like, I don't know what to do about it, because I don't want to I don't want him to not find anyone again or anything like that. But I just don't want to be with him like that, girl, And she heard me out, right? Well, hold that thought. Okay. Fast forward a little while later. The guy is over my house. All right. And he wanted to go out to this party that he heard about, because he did have family that lived like all over the place. So he had a sister, all right, that lived down in Florida too. And that's where he'd been living when he wasn't living with me or being with me. And so he's going to go to a party this night. And I did not feel like going to the party. I was in my own depressed state, because I was like literally trying to figure out what I'm going to do about my marriage and how I was basically blowing it up, at the time. I moved, like, and I'm missing my children and everything like that. And I'm super depressed, and I'm just in pain all the time. I was just constantly in pain. Like, I don't even know how I made it through those months, just constantly in pain like that, wanting to cry all the time. And so I told him, just go to the party without me. I don't feel like going, right? Well, the next day, it turns out that my friend Andrea comes to me and she says to me, oh my God, I met this wonderful guy at this party. And we had all this stuff in common. And I really want to see him. I want to date him and I want to see where things go with him. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm really happy for you, you know? And then I talked to my guy, right? And he's like, that party I went to, I met this girl there and I really liked her. We really hit it off and yada, yada, yada. And I want to start seeing her. And that's it, like clicked. And I'm like, was her name this? And he's like, yeah. Like, how did you know? I'm like, oh my God. Like, they met each other. Like, my best friend in my school met the guy that moved down to Florida to be with me. And now they wanted to be together. And I was not having it. I was not having it. I was pissed because, quite honestly, he was a steady lover. All right. And I wanted to have a lover down in Florida. I had needs. Right. And so I'm like, wait a second. But if you guys start seeing each other, that takes him off the table for me completely. Where am I going to get that? You know? And I'm like, no, like, absolutely not. Like that. No, I almost like, he belongs to me. You know, the boy is mine type of thing. Oh, and I cried, man. I got so upset because, you know, Andrea called me too. And I was just like, I was so upset. Like, don't do this to me. You guys can't do this to me. Please don't. All the hysterics you could possibly imagine. And she said, okay. She said, we won't see each other. We won't for you because we love you and we care about you and we will not. She said, we'll do our best not to see each other. We'll give you time. They were like, but we can't, like she said, basically, but I can't promise that I'll be able to not forever. I can't promise I won't be able to not see him forever. So I was like, okay, you know, and I remember I'd started my mantra meditation program already at this time. Okay. And also, like I said, this girl was the one who brought me the book Initiation, which was a game changer for me. Okay. She actually challenged me basically in a way to read it because I'm not very good. I'm a hard, slow reader when it comes to reading books. Okay. And she said, I've only met one other person that's ever been able to get through this book, even though it's one of the best books I ever read and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I wanted to do it for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to show her that she meant something to me and that I cared about things that she cared about too. I wanted to know that knowledge. And so I really did love her. And so we were doing this mantra. I was doing this mantra meditation program, right? I'd been asking Buddha, basically. That's who I'd been asking for help from because I wasn't really big into Jesus at that point. And I remember at one point I'm in so much pain, God, like help me. And so I opened this book on Buddhism that I had and I just pointed to I just opened it, pointed down, okay? And what I pointed to basically said, the only thing permanent The only thing permanent is impermanence. Like everything is impermanent, basically. Like, so even the pain that I was in right now won't be forever is what it was telling me. And so I was so grateful for that. And so I went to bed that night after this conversation with my friend Andrea. And the next day I woke up and I was in a completely different place. Completely different feeling. Is like it was like some dream time learning and growing had happened, some communication, some meeting up. Like I'm struggling to put, like something had happened in the dream time where when I woke up, I felt completely different about it. And I finally realized, I was like, oh my God, the only reason I was feeling so against them being together is because of how unhappy I am. And wow, that's such a crazy thing that when people are unhappy, sometimes it's hard to see other people that are happy. When there's something that you want so bad, you know, and you see someone else have that thing, it's hard. It can hurt sometimes because it just reminds you of how you don't have that thing, right? And so, but when I woke, I realized like I should not make these two people suffer because I'm unhappy, because I'm not in a place where I'm feeling loved. and I don't have that connection with someone. Like, there's no reason that, I mean, I told her flat out exactly how I felt about him. So she knew. There was no hiding that from her at this point. And so I went to her that day. I went to her that morning right away. And I told her, I am sorry. I said, please forgive me. You know, like, I should not keep you guys from being happy together. If that's what you guys really want, I want you to be happy too. Please be together. You know, and she was so happy. And we actually were good friends still for a long time after that. They went on to have a baby together. They lived together. They had a really, seemed like a pretty nice relationship for considering, you know what I'm saying? Considering what you know, all of us bring our own issues into relationships and stuff like that. But they seemed very happy together. And I'm really grateful for that, because it really taught me, it really showed me how not to be jealous of what other people's have, the other people's goods, like the goodness, the happiness that they have. Don't be jealous of other people's happiness, just because you might not have that same happiness. Like, it'll come to you when it's meant. Don't you want people to be happy for you when you have something that you love, something good that you found, you know, and you created for yourself? Don't you want to be able to share good news with people and have them actually sincerely be happy for you, right? Because there's so many people out there in the world that just don't do that. They like evil eye. Evil eye is a real thing. I sometimes I don't even recognize it anymore because it's not in me. Okay, like, it takes other people sometimes to point that out to me, even when, like, you know, I share something with someone and you can just straight up see that the stank eye. You know, them just like, you know, like. And so it makes it difficult, because I want to share my good news with people, and I want people to be happy for me, and I want to be happy for other people and having good news. You know, there's a meme. It said something along the lines, or a saying, it's plastered on a bunch of different images, right? And it said like a shared joy is double the joy, and a shared sorrow is half the sorrow when you're sharing it with someone who really cares about you. So I already knew that even if RJ, okay, and my friend Mary, even if they did find love somehow or something like that, like, I already knew from that past experience that you let people have their happinesses, you know, you let people have their happinesses. And if you find jealousy, you're feeling jealousy of some sort, there's a reason for it. You need to go back, you need to find it, because you're a wonderful person too. You know, we're all unique, beautiful, wonderful individuals in our own ways. And the people who are going to see that are going to see that, right? Like, there's no, you can't force someone. It has to be, and that's the thing. You wouldn't want to, because it doesn't feel good when it's forced. You want it to be authentic. That's all I've ever wanted. I want whatever experiences I'm having, whatever connections I'm making with people, I just want them to be real. I don't want it to be fake. You know, that is the main thing with me. So let's go on, though, further on. So I was able to heal this wound, this pattern. I was able to see this pattern. I was able to go and share it with RJ. And he actually felt really bad afterward, because he was like, I didn't know that you were feeling so neglected and like that I wasn't talking to you as much as you saw me obviously interacting with Mary or whatever. He's like, but I knew he was going through his own hard times too. You know, and that's another thing. I was trying to be understanding of that. And he did. He apologized a lot. He had a very sensitive heart, you know, a very sensitive person. And I'm kind of a sucker for that. So we ended up, you know, we're just going to be friends, right? Like, because that's the thing. At this point, like, the reasons for us coming together, which I truly believe was God trying to make sure to give me that inspiration that I needed to make that clean break from my ex. All right. And it's because I didn't want to have anything to feel bad about in my consciousness. That's really been the thing, is like, what's the number one way to not gather up guilt and shame and things like that in your body? Well, it's to make sure you don't put yourself in situations where you feel that way. You know, don't do things that are going to make you feel that way. Then you won't feel that way. But sometimes there are things that you do that you feel that way anyway, and there's no reason to, because those are the childhood wounds that you haven't figured out how to heal yet. Okay. So All right, let's see. We're changing. We're going into, let's see. Yes, that one and then that one. Okay. I only wrote a few little notes today just because I honestly just legit did not have time between everything I've had to do these past couple days. So bear with me when I try to get through this without my complete script here in notes. So the next thing that was going on, because like I said at the beginning of this, I was trying to figure out what does sexuality look like without any of that interference from what you grew up with knowing, right? And it just so happens that there was another workshop that I was taking, a container, so to speak, a sacred sexuality container. And this came with a bunch of sound healings. Okay. And right after the sound healings, right? After doing all the container, doing the sound healings, something very strange happened to me. It's like there was this, let's say there was like a board, okay, and this would be my sexuality, right? And you write on it all the things that make my experiences, what sexuality looks like to me. Okay. And after I did this sacred sexuality container, it was like someone just took an eraser and they just wiped it clean. Okay. Like all the things. And what do I mean by that? Okay. Well, growing up, I think that people end up with the things that get them turned on, right? I think that those are started in childhood. I think the way the interactions, the experiences you have when you are first noticing what arousal and things like that feel like in the body, I think that creates a sort of patterning of its own. Aside from even just in pornography too. Pornography is a horrible thing, honestly. Just how easily accessible they have made it. Just the way they portray things, the way they portray the act in itself. Because like pornography is not what sexuality is supposed to look like. It's just not like the things they do for the camera angles and stuff like that is not the way lovemaking is really experienced, right? And so how it had changed for me was now all the things that used to be specific to me as far as triggers or arousals, you know what I'm saying? Like those were all wiped away. And now I had to figure out, well, what does that even look like for me anymore? What does that even look like? It was like not only that, it was just like not something, this too, okay, speaking about pornography, right? Because I had an experience with some type of interdimensional being associated with pornography, with a specific, was a video, was a site, I don't know what it was specifically attached to, but I had an experience with an entity where basically it stole my sexual energy right after orgasm, right? I was watching a little bit of porn, and this was like in the summer before this, before all the times that we're talking about now, and before I could even experience it, it was like this entity, this being, and I could see it in my mind's eye. It was absolutely grotesque. It looked like a hungry ghost, kind of how hungry ghosts are portrayed in ancient Chinese artwork and stuff like that. And it was just flesh and just skin and bone. It was just grotesque. It had like an open mouth with like just teeth all around here like this, and just no hair, buggy eyes, disgusting, just disgusting. And this thing was so hungry that it couldn't even wait for me to experience the energy of my own orgasm, that it just took it. It just sucked it right out, just took it. And I sat up. I remember sitting right up, and then I'm like, what did that? Who did that? What did that? And I go and I look and I saw the entity, and I was just like, oh, you fucked with the wrong one. I'm just like, you are in so much trouble now, because I'm going to find you and I'm going to end you. I'm like, because that is not okay. You don't just be sitting around like, and then I realized though, like, I can't ever be going on porn sites anymore because you're literally going to those places. And I refused. And so I stopped, and I still have not, I don't ever watch porn ever. That's just not something that is the thing for me. So I don't know if it was a succubus, because I feel like succubus and incubus, they usually come in dreams. Okay. And then not only that, they usually try to appear quite appealing, you know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to get you to consent to that, because they're gonna actually physically like do something with your energy. Like they're gonna like, right? Like what does the succubus or incubus do? They have sex with you, right? Okay, well, this entity wasn't trying to do that. It just wanted to steal my energy. It just wanted to take it away. I was like, okay, no more of that. Okay. And so, like I said, yes. Yeah, exactly, Victor. Victor said they try to lure you. Yes. Incubus and succubus, they try to get you, they lure you to consent to doing it, right? And then they just, I don't know, do they just take it? I don't know. Anyway, that's beside, that's a completely different subject. So anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. So yeah, so after doing this sacred sexuality container and having this clear wipe, and now I'm kind of left again. I'm like, okay, well, what is that going to look like for me? I'm just going to have to let it unfold naturally, is what I assumed and I thought. Okay, but what I really didn't know at that time was they were preparing me. The thing is they were preparing me for that divine union. All right, these were the steps that we had to take. And in Lisa Renee's work, in the section she has on the sacred marriage, in fact, okay, she talks about those stages. She talks about these steps. All right, it didn't make sense to me at the time, but it does now. Now, upon reflection, I'm able to look back and I'm able to see that. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to this one part first, and then we're going to go to the dreams part, and then I will be pretty much wrapping that up. That's going to be part 4. Okay. So the other thing that I started asking for, right, was in these classes I was taking, in these containers I was going to, they often talked a lot about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the templates. Okay. Now for me and my understanding of what that meant, what it means for me anyway, right, was the conditioning of when we're children, right, of what feminine is, what masculine is. All right, what did that look like? Because I truly believe this, and it's like your relationship with, as a child, okay, me as a daughter, my relationship with my father, okay, was going to set me up for what type of men I was going to pick in the future, right? That's what I truly believe. I think for boys, okay, boys fall in love with their mothers and daughters fall in love with their fathers. That's how it should naturally be. And in a good, wholesome, completely healed couple, all right, that would be a beautiful thing that a child would be able to see. Okay, this is how the men and women treat each other. This is how it's supposed to be, this beautiful experience and working together and all this stuff. But most of us grew up traumatized. The whole planet has been traumatized. So what was it that we saw as children? All right, and how did that set us up to think, okay, this is how men are supposed to treat women, right? This is how a man is supposed to treat me. All right, so I realized the fact that I never had a father in my life. All right, I had father figures, but my father was not in my life. My father, do I want to go all the way there? It's quite a messy situation, actually. So my father, I had been told, was my mom's first husband. Okay. And I had a picture of me and him from when I was a baby, or like about 2 or 3. I think that was the only time I ever really saw much of him, because my mom and her first husband were divorced by the time that she had me. And the reason for that I discovered when I was a teenager. Now this really fucked me up. Think about it, like not knowing who even a father is, right? Like who. So I thought my father had passed away. I actually went to his funeral when I was 8 years old, and my mom said, like, this was your dad, right? Come to find out, when I'm 13 years old, that wasn't even my dad. He just stepped up and took the role of father, because the man who was my father, okay, had basically cheated on my mom at 6 months. When she was 6 months pregnant, she found out he was cheating on her. And when she confronted him, he punched her in the stomach, hoping that it would make her lose me. right? So I can understand why she wouldn't want to tell me that necessarily, right? Okay, so this was that was the real thing. So I really did not have any idea of what father's energy was really supposed to feel like. What was that even supposed to look like? I never saw that. Okay, like I was given, I kept being told, okay, like this guy's your dad. No, this guy's your dad. Because when I went to my dad's funeral, my mom had already been remarried and had another child, and she had been telling me that that guy was my dad. So I'm just like, okay, but there was always a, that's the thing. A man who is not the real biological father of a child is never going to be able to love a child, that child, like their own, like legit their own. And I know that from having my own children. Okay. I know what it feels like to love my own children. I know what it feels like to love a stepchild. It's never going to be the same. It just isn't, because Mother Nature steps up and they have chemicals and hormones and stuff that make you bond in a different way. When it's your child, you can sense it in a way. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, there's exceptions to every rule when it comes to, like, I'm hearing all this stuff now. I'm like, okay, what about all these like fathers that just don't even ever get involved in the, well, that's the thing. They don't ever allow themselves to bond, because it is going to be different for a father than a mother. A mother's going to automatically bond when she has that labor and delivery and all those hormones come rushing through, that because that's Mother Nature's number one goal. Get that mom attached to that baby, so that baby is taken care of. For dads, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay. Like, depending on the experience, depending on not only your experience with your wife and the labor and delivery and all that, and what your relationship is like, but also what they were role modeled. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there. Let's go back and let's go back to putting ourselves back in that moment where I'm at. Right, I'm walking towards this event. Okay, they've cleared off my plate here, right, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching my daughter. I'm watching my daughter with her father. And I'm seeing just how much she absolutely loves him. And a part of me inside, like, hurt. It hurt so bad. And I remember going to my room and I was crying, because I had already figured out that I had been emulating my mom's life. The example my mom gave me, that's exactly what I was living. I had patterned my life exactly after hers. Okay. And so now I'm like, wow, maybe this is why I have never been able to pick a man that really loved me. Maybe because I never had a man who really unconditionally loved me like a father is supposed to love a daughter. I never had that. And now I'm watching my daughter and I'm just so grateful that she has that experience, and that her dad stepped up to the plate and he was there for her every single day after she was born. And she truly fell in love with him. And I could see that. And I had 5 sons, so I could see the difference. I could see how much my sons loved me and I was their world, right? And so that was one of the things I always used to tell women, like, make sure you love your son properly, and that he knows how much you love him. He knows what you mean to him, because he's going to go out there and he's going to find a woman like you. That's what they do. You'll either find someone that is like that thing, or you'll go the opposite direction. If it was a bad example, you'll try to find the opposite. That's kind of like how it happens, right? And so I realized, like, I never had this. So how am I ever going to attract or pick a man that it would truly love me, truly, you know? And I just cried. And this, to me, this was the divine masculine template. Okay. So I'm like, wow. So my divine masculine template was never properly created, or it was corrupted or distorted. I'm not really sure how to word that there, but you get the feeling, I'm sure. And so I knew I needed to, I just asked God. I talked to my guides. I talked to the people that I was working with, right? And I just sent them a message, like, wow, like, I see what I don't have now. And I really wish I could have that thing, but I guess I never will. I'll never know what that's like. Truly felt that way. Truly believed that. God had other plans. God had other plans for me. Okay. So this is what I had asked for, right? I had asked for my divine masculine template to be rewritten, to be restored to what it should be. That was one of my requests, right? Okay, so I wanted to go to this event. I wanted to be activated, right? All of these things. All of these requests that I made, and they were happening, right? Because here's another request I made, and and this is where it's gonna kind of lighten it up a little bit. I'm trying to think of how I can change the subject here. We're like changing lanes a little bit. Because now we're going on to the dreams, the symbolic dreams I had. And these felt like really, honestly, like esoteric type of dream symbology was inside of these things. Right now, if you go back and we remember from my first part 1, my keystone, right? My keystone, the first manifestation, my first heart wish, my first big heart wish that had happened. Yeah, I didn't believe that it happened. Okay, and so I'm in the process of uncovering that all that it had resulted from this, right? Like I started doing all these manifestations, all these things. Like part of it was all to prove to myself that this one particular heart wish happened, which was me going back in time to help someone, to love this man that I was attracted to, just naturally, just had these natural feelings, this natural magnetic drawing towards, so to speak. And so I mentioned briefly, and the only reason I do it is because this was what I thought. I'm like, did I create this from asking this? Did I put this request out? And is this a result of that? Like, oh my gosh, is this confirmation? So what I had asked for, right, was this person that I had made this huge heart wish for. I just said, when I first saw the female that had okay, that I was like, wow, I want to look like a certain way. And I saw this woman and she looked exactly like the way I thought I would want to look like, right? And so I had put this request out and I told this guy, I said, you should just come kiss me in the dream space, as a thank you, right? And so this is where the dream started taking off. Right after I put this request out, I'm thinking I'm joking, thinking this is hilarious. This is not a big deal. I go to sleep. I wake up. I had this dream. I honestly didn't even remember the dream right away, but I know that I was the one that put it in a bubble. Okay. I knew I woke up. I'd had this dream. I wanted to remember it so bad. And once I did remember, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I was literally playing with my daughter on the bed. And this was the most, I don't think I've ever had another dream come to me in this way either. So there was this, it was like this bubble floated down into my field, this bubble, okay? And then pop, it popped and it played a song when this bubble popped. And the song was Absurdity from Chronophage. This band is a really cool song. I really liked the song. All right. Even the song made sense to me. It was kind of crazy. And so this bubble breaks and this dream unfolds before me and I see it and I remember it. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, yes, I wanted to remember this dream. And so we stored it up there and they gave it to me with a song. Okay, so where am I at? I'm at this school. Now I'm going to have 2 dreams at this location. Okay, 2 dreams at the same location. So I had not figured out that all the dreams about the events I was going to. All right, the first Starseed Adventure Conference, all of those dreams that were going to start coming true had happened 4 years before this. Okay, but now these other dreams are coming through. And I had this dream. I was at like a school dorm. Okay. It actually kind of reminded me of like a Harry Potter type of school, right? It was, there were beds everywhere. Kind of like I can see it perfectly still in my head. Like, okay, so there was this bed right here, and there were all these bunk beds and stuff over to this side. And here's like a little a walkway. It was wood floors everywhere. There were these pillars that were next to this bed, and between these 2 pillars, there were stairs leading down. Okay, so I felt like this was a dormitory. So we were all sleeping, all of the students, I'm guessing, we're all sleeping in this school. Okay, and there was this bed. I was going to this bed. I was getting ready to go to sleep. I was getting ready to lay down. And I go to get in this bed, and there's someone already in it, right? And it was the person I put the request out to. All right, so we were wearing these white clothes. We were like white t-shirt, white shorts, you know what I'm saying? Like a uniform almost, like sleeping uniform type of like classic. It was just white, like even like kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt very innocent. I'll just say that. I felt like the white was to represent innocence. Okay. And so I go to get in this bed, and this guy is already in the bed. And I'm watching this happen, like I'm viewing this dream from like over top, and I'm seeing this. He's got this pillow next to him, and this pillow is called a waifu pillow. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever heard about those, but they're these Japanese pillows that you can get that have like beautiful anime characters on it. So I have this beautiful anime girl on it. All right, and I apologized. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you were already in this bed." Like I was like looking for a bed, like because the place was full of them. And he said, no, it's okay. He said, come lay down. He's like, I want to show you something. I said, okay, and so I remember I got in the bed, and he was holding something right here at his stomach. Okay. And he pulls it away, and he shows it to me, passes it over to me, says, look at this, and it was a star. It was a star. And this star was out of the same material as the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade. That's what the material of this star was. Okay, it looked like dusty but gold, like that. Just that feeling. I can see it so clearly. And so he showed this to me, and I was like, "Wow, that's so beautiful." Like, and I just said, "Wow, thank you for sharing that with me." And he went and he pushed it back, put it back down. And then next thing I know it, like, he leans over and he kisses me. Just very innocently. Like I said, this was a very innocent dream. Okay. And he kisses me. And as he kisses me, because of the force of him like going towards me, we rolled out of the bed onto the ground. Okay. And we started laughing. And the Earth Star healer was there, and she was in one of the bunk beds that was right next to us, and it woke her up. And she sat up and she goes, what were you guys doing? Like that. And we just laughed, and it was like, oh, everyone started to wake up because it was time to get ready for school. And so we got ready for school, and we went down the stairs, and that was the end of the dream. And it was an amazing dream. It was a great dream. But now I'm waking up, right? And I'm seeing this, right? The bubble pops. I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, first of all, holy shit. Like, that was an amazing dream. But then second of all, like, was that fucking confirmation? Was that the fucking confirmation? Like, why would that happen if it wasn't a confirmation? Now I'm like freaking out. Like, oh my God. Did I really do something here? Like, is this a real stuff? Like, because I couldn't, and that's the other thing. The Curse of Cassandra, I was thinking about that because of last week, right? When I mentioned that and we pick our names. I know I picked my name anyway. And how maybe the Curse of Cassandra, maybe for me, since that is something that has stuck with me, right? Maybe it's the whole point of it is for me to realize that I don't need anyone else to believe in me. I just need to believe in me. That's kind of how I've been taking it lately. Like, the whole lesson for me with that is I need to believe in me, because it's my own belief. It's your own belief too. Like, it's your own belief in yourself that gives you the power to manifest these huge, big things, these requests, these dreams that you want fulfilled. These experiences you want to have in the world. Like, your own belief in yourself is what allows you to create it and make it happen. Right? So now I'm like, holy shit. Like, what did I, not only that, but now I feel bad. Now I'm feeling, like, remember the whole thing was like, just don't do stuff to make yourself feel bad. Now I'm feeling guilty. Now I'm feeling bad. I'm like, oh my God, I did this and I asked for that and then they did it. And I don't even know. Like, did they even want to? Like, was this, did I force someone to do this? Like, oh my God, I'm full of all sorts of stuff. Okay. Then I have another dream in this same location. So now let's switch over. This beautiful dream. Maybe it's a confirmation of this manifestation that I did. I don't know, right? So now I have another dream. Okay. And the dream now is in that same place. I'm literally still on the floor next to the bed that I fell out of. but there's not really a lot of other people there. There's like a couple other people, but the Earth Star healer was there. She was there. And I was fully pregnant. I was big, pregnant, and the baby was crowning. I remember she was like, she was being my midwife. She was acting as my midwife. She said, "Don't you want to push this baby out?" And I was like, "Is it ready to come out?" And I remember I fell down. Like I had to like, still wearing the same white outfit, right? I feel down there and I feel the baby's head. I could feel the hair on the baby. The baby was right there. It was right there. And I told the Earth Star healer, I said, "I need a contraction though. I need a contraction in order to push the baby out. Like I'm just not ready to do it yet. Like it can't just, it's like, there's no urge yet. There's no, like, that's the thing about having a baby is that when it comes to pushing, you have to wait for the surge to come to get you, to inspire you to push that baby out." Okay. So I didn't have that yet. And she said, "Okay, guys, I guess she's not ready yet." She said, "Turn off the lights. Let's leave her alone here for a little while." So just like a seed that had been planted in the ground, right? I was left in the dark to grow this the rest of the way till I could get to this contraction and have this baby, which I believe was just going to be another version of myself, right? That's what I think. It was me, right? I'm going to give birth to myself again in a way, symbolically here. And so that's the other thing though too, is that most people don't know this, but when it comes to labor and delivery, the correct thing to do when a woman has a stalled labor is to put her in the dark, because light actually impacts our body in a way where it decreases the amount of hormone necessary to create the contractions to get a baby out. So that's why more babies are born at night than they are in the daytime. That's because literally sunlight going in the eye lessens oxytocin production. I just thought that's kind of weird, right? So she put me in the dark. I'm like, wow, I was fully pregnant. And now I've had other dreams before, other events now too, where again, I was pregnant again. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it's almost like that activation, that rewriting, so to speak, almost like a new version of me is going to be born. And I didn't realize this, but it was going to be born at the Starseed Adventure Conference. That was where it was going to be. And it was going to be during the actual speech of the Earth Star healer. So I find that very fascinating, the fact that those dreams lined up like that. But, I did have to ask, I had to ask my guides later on in the future. I'm just like, okay, so I get kissed in the fucking dream space. How the fuck did I end up pregnant then? Like, what was that about? And they were like, this is funny. They said to me, think back. Just stop. They said, think back to when you were like 8 years old, they said. They said, what did you think sex was when you were 8? When you were younger, when you were a child, what did you think it was? Well, what I thought sex was before I knew what it was a man and a woman lay in bed together and they kiss. That was it. That's it, right? And they said, yeah, see? So they were like, because that's all it took. That's all I was going to need in order to get this ready, get this going. Okay? A stork. Yeah, a stork. Sorry, it's so fun. I can't even believe I can see that from here. Anyway, yeah, a stork. So that's why this worked, right? This is why I was going to be having another version of me. All right, that was going to be a mix of the person who was going to rewrite my divine masculine template, which was what I'd asked for, which was what my heart and my soul yearned and ached for, was to just to know what that would look like and feel like, to pick someone healthy, to pick someone different than what I had been given, right? Different than the example. And I'm going to get into what it meant to me. I'm going to get into in the next one what that looked like for me, because I did have to agree to it. And when I finally did see what it was that we were going to be modeling it after, I was like, oh yes, absolutely. Like this is a good thing. This is a good man. Absolutely. But at first I said no. And I'll tell you how I said no, because we're going to talk about 2 more dreams, these prophetic dreams. And then we're going to end for the day. We're going to go to the tarot readings. Okay. So here's the 2 more dreams. And then we're going to go, because these ones were also continuation dreams. Have anyone ever had it where you have a dream one time and then however long later you have a dream and it's like a continuation of the like days apart? Like, what is that? That's fucking weird. So I had this dream, okay, where 3 women came to me in the house I was living in back then, okay? 3 women came to me and they said to me, get your yellow wedding dress out of the freezer because you're going to get married. And I said, absolutely not. I said, no. I was like, you see my history. You know, I was like, I'm never doing that again. Like, look how it turned out. I never felt different. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. And they said, yes, you are. You've already agreed to this. Get your yellow wedding dress out of the freezer because it's happening, basically. I'm just like kind of like, what the fuck? Whatever, fine, you know. And so I go over to my freezer and I pull out this yellow wedding dress. Okay. As it turns out, the dress I bought for the Starseed Adventure Conference was a wedding dress. It was gold, close enough to yellow, because that's like literally what they looked similar as. It was like a dark yellowish color, right? And the wedding dress came in a giant baggie. It looked like a freezer bag when I bought it, so that made sense, right? That makes sense later on. So not only that, but the 3 women coming to me, that even reminded me of the 3 of Cups, which is all about like social gatherings and possible weddings and all that type of good stuff. Like, that's what it felt like. So anyway, these women, they come and they tell me, yes, this is what's going to happen. You're going to do this thing. And I'm like, these guys, they're fucking crazy. I don't know what they're talking about. So then that dream ends. All right. And then I have another dream. Now the women are back. Okay. They're in my house. I'm in my family room. Okay. Where there's like a fireplace and stuff. And they have this table out and there's food on this table. And they're telling me, congratulations, you know? And I'm like, why? What are you guys talking about? You know? And they're like, we're here for your wedding reception. I was like, my wedding reception? I'm like, I didn't get married. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to do that. I don't know why you keep saying this. And they're like, yes, you did. And it's 9/17. It's 9/17. This is your wedding reception. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Right. And I wake up. Okay. And I'm like, that is some very, very strange and interesting dreams, because these were like, again, this is before I started having my dreams come literally true. Right. Like usually I have dream elements that will show up the next day, almost exactly like whatever it is I'm dreaming about them as. Okay. But in these particular dreams, they didn't happen immediately the next day. These were like, they were different types of dreams. I'm thinking like there's different types of dreams. There's different types of dream spaces. Okay. I don't even know how to, like, I'm still working on it, guys. I'm still working on the dream information, you know? Okay. I'm just going to take a breath for a minute. I really need a drink of fucking water. But I don't think I have my, oh God, why? I always got to find a reason and a way to step away from the freaking computer for a second. Always. Okay. I'm back. All right. Okay. Wow. I'm so glad we got through all that. I was really worried about this, guys. I was really nervous about this one tonight. I just didn't feel like I had the same amount of time to process it as I did with the other ones, because I just, like I said, my schedule's been so busy because I'm getting ready to take a trip. Hello there, Cosmic Water Stories. Hello to everyone that I haven't said hello to. Wow, third time you've heard yellow today. Yellow's all about the intellect. That's what it symbolizes. It also symbolizes what? Intuition, the navel chakra. It's good to get up and stretch. Thank you for making me feel better about that, Victor. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, appreciate the comments here. Oh, hello there, LG19. Is there anyone else I missed, right? I think. Oh, Barry. Nice to see you, Barry. Oh, John Kins. Wow, a couple people. Oh, Queen Victor. Oh my gosh, I didn't see you there. Sorry, I was kind of in a flow. Oh, Matthew and Nora. Nice to see you guys. Okay. So this is where I'm leaving you guys. And I hope that this is okay. All year it's going to have to be the way I'm doing this, right? Okay, so I basically have walked us up now to the actual conference when all of this other stuff is going to happen and take place. But we're going to have to stop that for now because it's already, 8:40? So I've been going here for a while. All right, we're going to do part 5 next time. I'm actually not going to be back next Friday because I'm taking a trip to Florida to see my friends, okay, for a 12-12 gathering. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be a great time. So that's another reason why I really pushed myself to get out here today. Oh, thank you, Victor. I wanted to make sure that I didn't, because once I stop, what I'm saying, it's hard to get that momentum rolling again. So I didn't want to fall behind. So I am not going to be on next week, but I will be back the following week. And let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I think that is it for that stuff. And yeah, the next one we talk about is going to be about how all of those dreams actually came true. How I pushed a energetic baby out of myself, and man, heart got activated. Boom! I definitely knew when it happened, because there were things that I'd asked for, and remember I mentioned quite a few of the things I asked for, but I had also asked for one other thing, and I'll leave you on this one with the story. I'd asked for one other thing. I was specific about this. I wanted to know what it felt like when someone would tell you that they've lived many lifetimes. I actually did. I did specifically say hundreds of lifetimes. I said, I want someone to tell me that they lived hundreds of lifetimes with me and for it to be fucking true. And for me to know that it's fucking true by how it makes me feel. I have to know it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I had all these other experiences where I was supposed to feel different and I didn't. I got baptized, accepted Jesus. My heart didn't feel any different, right? Didn't feel like that. Got married twice. Didn't feel any different after the marriage. I'm like, these things are supposed to have meaning. These things are supposed to make you feel differently when they have been done properly. These ceremonies, these rituals, and I had not had that. And so I really wanted to experience truth when it came to, because people had said this to me before. People you meet someone like, oh, we've met each other in a past life, but you never. I wanted to feel it. I wanted to, just like the baptism thing. I wanted to feel like I was saved. I wanted to feel like I could tell it was definitely the truth, and it did. It hit me like a belt when I put the request out, and it came through. I handed it over to God though. I just was like, I want someone to say this thing to me specifically, and I want to know. I want to feel the difference of when it is true, and I'll leave it in God's hands, whoever it's going to be though. Just bring it forward. Bring it forward. This is what I want to experience, God. Let me experience this thing. Thank you, Cosmic Water Stories. I much appreciate you. When I want to see your little icon a little bit better. I'm trying to connect with you here a little bit. I really appreciate all the I appreciate the chat activity. Let's take a deep breath. I got through it. I survived another one. Might not have been my smoothest one, but I'm glad I did it. Got it over with. Part of the story is done. Okay. What does the collective need to hear for a message? What is the message? 1, 2, 3. This one. All right, here we go. Aww. Love you too. All right, what does the collective need to hear? Ready? Let's peek in there and see. Let's make sure there's a fortune. Okay. Boom. All right. So for this next week, wow, I love that they've been giving us actual days on some of these. Because remember, we had that one that was like Thursday, you're going to have good news on Thursday, right? Well, today is, or this one, right, is Tuesday brings clarity and focus to your decision making. Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Trying to think if that lines up with the Vedic astrology thing that I watched earlier today. What is Tuesday? Is that the 8th or? I'm not sure, but she did say that the 14th, like all of the energies, this woman was Joni Patry, I think her name is. She does Vedic astrology, which is crazy for me because I was doing, Western Hellenistic astrology. I took a year of it in school, and none of it ever seemed to stick really good. Like I still it was like I understand it. I understand how it works, the house and how it works. I get that. Like, okay, but it never, I don't know. You know how some things that you're meant to be doing, they just come naturally to you. Well, this type of stuff didn't until I started listening to people talk about Vedic astrology. And for me, for some reason, Vedic astrology just really was like, boom, this makes, this I can get with. This I can absolutely, the vibe checks. But I do think it's funny because according to Vedic astrology, I'm a Taurus and not a Gemini, which makes a lot more sense to me personally, because I've never been able to relate to Gemini energy. I do not understand it. I don't. I'm like, I understand. I have a very like a concept of energetically feels like, like just basic traits, right? And for Gemini, I've never been able to grasp it. And I'm always like, how am I a Gemini? I can't even understand it. I'm like, it's just like you're too close to it to be able to understand it or something. Like I don't know. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I know I vibe a lot more with Taurus energy than I do with the Gemini energy when it comes to my life, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so Vedic astrology, I'm really, really loving it. And so this woman was basically saying that December 14th was going to be like one of the best days astrologically for all of these different reasons. And that happens to be the day of the Christmas 12/12 party gathering thing that I'm going to. So I was like, that really works out well. Well, let me see what you're saying. Okay, Tuesday afternoon. I do know that artist, Moody Blues. Yes. Oh yeah, I love that, Terry. Yeah, it's wonderful. Moody Blues. It's the blues, guys. I'm all about the blue. All right, now I just gotta kind of cleanse my energy here for a second. Just kind of clear it so we can get into the tarot. The tarot mindset. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Who's ready to see what the energies hold for us this next week? Who is ready? I am. Oh, man. Look at that. Messed up the shuffle, the first shuffle. Okay, yes. All right, let's see. Would you humbly request? Would you please assist me? What's this reading? Yeah. For the collective. What does the collective need to hear? What does the collective need to hear this week? This week. Oh, I'm excited to pull these. Okay, then. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, baby. So the first card we got is the Devil. This is a very interesting card. This is about the things that we are doing to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. See how they got the, this actually is depicting it in a much different way than a lot of other tarot decks do, because normally there's chains, right? Normally there's chains that are around the people. Because it's all about the things that things about us with sensual nature to them. Things about the body. Like, it doesn't always have to be a negative energy when it comes to the Devil. It can also be about just like enjoying the luxuries of the body, like indulging yourself. I'm literally getting ready to go to a trip to spend with my friends. This could be just smoking a lot of weed, eating a lot of food, all that type of stuff, the things we do to ourselves, right? Okay. Just realize, though, that whatever it is something that you are willingly taking on. Okay. It's something that, a situation that you've gotten yourself into. And we got the full moon overhead, too. Look at that. Yeah. So there is some, we're going towards the full moon. That's why I'm bringing that up. So look for this energy. I feel like to really hit when the moon starts to get fuller. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to see if they pull anything else to my attention here with it. I'm not really getting a lot of different energies with this, though. Let's pull some other cards, though, to see what the mix is all about. Okay, so this is about the body. All right, it's things that we're doing with the body. It's things that we're doing to the body. It's things that we're enjoying with the body. But either way, it's about the matter. Okay, right? It's about the physical vessel. Mm-hmm. That torch upside down. That's very interesting. It's being lit from the bottom up. Okay. Keep that in mind for a minute. Okay, so let's pull the next card, though, for the collective. Explain more of the energies here. Building up to the Devil. Explain what the energies for the collective this week. Building up the Devil here. Wow, we got a return one. Oh, look at that. This was here last week. This was here. This was the last card we pulled last week. So we got the Seven of Swords again. Okay, so this is about keeping things to yourself a little bit. This is about having a plan, having a strategy. I'm just feeling strategy about it. Like, get all your ducks in a row, you know what I'm saying? But don't be sharing all that information with all of those plans. I feel like if you got something going on here. There's some things you need to keep close to yourself. Okay, it also could be someone else is keeping something from you. Right? This could be someone else is possibly trying to deceive you, or like they're sharing with you a lot of the stuff, but they're not sharing everything yet, or you just don't have all of the information yet. You don't have all the words yet. Okay. Okay, so something that we've been doing to ourselves here, or some types of pleasures that we're experiencing with the body. We're overindulging, possibly even. We're appreciating our sensuality. Okay, but some parts of things you need to watch out for people either not sharing all the information with you that you need. Okay, or possibly you also needing to hold back some and just not give all of it away until it's proper time to do that. Okay. Last time I did speak about the swords here on the back, like it being like a shield, okay, from backstabbing, but I'm not getting that same sense anymore. I don't feel like that is an issue here anymore. He's got a path. He's got his back turned, right? He's headed towards this mountain. He's headed towards this mountain. All right, so he's got something to do. All right, let's pull one more card. Very interesting energies. I know. Okay. Yeah. Last card. Yeah. Okay, what's the last part of the message here, guys? What's the last part of the message for the collective? Four of Rods. All right, so this is about stuff that you're doing in your home, right? This is about to be a cooperative thing. Like for me, I'm thinking this is the party. This is the stuff having to do with the party, right? Okay. For me personally, that's how I'm reading this for my next week. But it can be completely different for you. Go with your first gut instinct, whatever it is that you're drawn to of these statements here. Okay. But the Four of Rods is about experiencing joy in the home, a home life. It's a harmonious home life. It's a good positive feeling. Like I just get the feeling that this is something that where like on other cards I'm seeing, because I'm seeing the dancing. The thing I'm seeing the other card that I know of this to be, and I'm seeing the dancing of the people. Okay, and so there could be some type of gathering or social, and it is holiday season, so there could be some type of gathering and social event where everyone's gathering and we're doing this dancing, and like this is the home life, that this is where it needs to take place. It's going to be harmonious and joyful. I don't get a bad feeling about this at all, about taking the actions to make that happen. But either way, when it comes to these types of gatherings, when it comes to these types of parties, okay, if we look at the whole message, what this could mean, okay, let's put them all together. All right, what this could mean. Be careful not to overindulge, because whatever it is that you're doing it to yourself. Be careful. Okay, but also you have permission to enjoy yourself physically. You do. Keep some things close to you when it comes to your thoughts. Maybe don't share all of it. Maybe only take some of those thoughts with you to the gathering, so to speak. And you could be aware of deception from other people. Maybe they're not sharing everything with you. And again, this is something that you've done yourself. So it could be a relationship that you've gotten yourself into and they're just not sharing everything with you. Right. But lastly, we're going to have something that is going to be going on in the home. Even though there's these things going on, maybe this is what is going to keep this harmonious. It's the fact that you only bring certain things with you. And it's going to make this home life, this experience over here, it's going to be really nice. All right. It's very interesting. I'm really loving getting to know these different cards now in a different way, because I don't often get those cards. You know what I'm saying? But I am going to pull an oracle card for us as well. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, there were some other astrological things that Joni Patry, she was saying about the days before leading up to the 14th, and there was some crazy things going on like in the middle of that. She did say that the 9th was a great day to spend money, though. Something like that. So yeah. Okay. Last but not least, and I'm sticking with the fairy cards again because I really like them. And we're gonna do that. I almost am half tempted to pull some Adventure Time Tarot. Just because I don't know, I'm starting to feel a little bit, I'm seeing the deck and I'm almost like, should we pull a few more cards with the Adventure Time Tarot deck? What do you guys say? Should I practice that? I'm going to let you guys decide in the chat. Okay. Decide in the chat. If you guys want 3 Adventure Time Tarot cards pulled, decide by the end of the Fairy Oracle card. Yay. Yeah. They got excited. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So what does the collective need to hear for the oracles? I knew you were going to say yes. I was hoping you would say yes anyway, Brayden. Brayden likes the Adventure Time Tarot. Okay. What oracle card does the collective need to hear? Oracle card. And these are a hot mess. These ones are all over the place, upside down, left and right, oh, whatever. Yep. Yes. From now, for people here in the chat and in the future, what the Spirit wants to show them or tell them. What does Spirit want to show them? Okay. Trust. I trust. Yes. I do. Where did I put the book, though? Where did I put the little book? There it is. Okay. Oh, Angel Lori. I didn't know you were in here. I didn't see you up there earlier. Okay. So, sorry if I didn't say hi. Oh, Sarah Kitty. Darling daughter, you should not be here. Good thing it's at the end of the stream. You know, one time she subscribed to my channel and then she went and liked every single video and she was like, I'm gonna give you so many likes, Mom. She's like, you're gonna be famous. So adorable. She's like, let's go to my other accounts and we'll subscribe to your channel. I was like, Sarah, she's adorable. She's so cutie. Oh, you just got here. Nice to see you, Angel. I'm glad you were able to show up. All right, so the card we got for the Oracle deck was Higher Consciousness. Look at that beautiful card. I really like the picture on it. It actually reminds me of something I posted not that long ago. Kind of giving dragon energy even a little bit to me. At least that's how it looks from here. I don't know. It looks like a little bit like a phoenix or a dragon type thing right here. It looks completely different though when I turn around. For me, it's all blue. It's not, it looks more colored right there. Very interesting. There's even like music notes it looks like there. Beautiful. Higher consciousness. Let's go ahead and read that one. Okay. Higher consciousness. You are receiving guidance from your true self, your higher consciousness. Beautiful. Which is one of divine universal wisdom. You are listening to love rather than fear. Yes, I am. Okay. Let's see. That does remind me. I might bring that up in a second. Yes. Okay. So it says this. This card is a validation that your recent feelings, thoughts, dreams, and aspirations are coming from Spirit. You have been asking for divine guidance, and your higher self has answered your prayers. Your spiritual path has helped you hear this voice because you've taken the time to listen. Perhaps you've begun a meditation or yoga practice, and this has helped you to quiet your mind. Or maybe you've put your foot down to the universe and have adamantly decided to improve your life. Whatever route you have taken is working very well. Now the fairies ask you to keep having conversations with your higher consciousness. This will involve carving out time away from noise and stress. You may need to take frequent nature walks, join a spiritual support group, or go on a retreat. By quieting your life and your mind, the voice of your higher consciousness becomes increasingly loud and clear. It guides you perfectly through all life areas. Your affirmation is, I easily hear and understand my inner voice of Spirit. Oh, I love that affirmation. That is a great. Oh, I love that affirmation. I love this. I love that oracle. This has got to be my favorite oracle deck. I literally love this oracle deck. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do the Adventure Time Tarot, and then I'll be headed out because I got a beautiful little girl that wants to have a girls' night, and that's what we're gonna do after this. We're gonna cuddle and watch things on YouTube. Yes, that was the, I love my children. I love all my children, but my daughter, that, thank God for her. She really saved me. She saved me. She's the reason that I became this, was so I could be better for her. I could be a better version of myself for her. So she would have something better to replicate, Yeah. Friday night is girls' night. Exactly. All right. So this, okay. I always have to say this. The cardstock on this deck is so fucking thick. Okay. Let's do this. That's the only thing I wish about this deck, is that it had thinner cards so I could shuffle it easier. Okay. But let's go Oh, the thing I was going to say? Yeah, the thing yeah, we'll wait. If I remember at the end of this, I'll tell it. Okay. All right. I'm going to request to choose this one. This reading of the collective energies through the Adventure Time Tarot. Okay. All right, so that's one half of it. Shuffled good. But let's go ahead and shuffle the other half, and then we'll add it together. Yes, I can feel the energy. Yep, I can feel it. Okay, almost there, guys. Bear with me. Almost done. Okay. One more, because I just have to make sure the energies are really shuffled up. And so it takes like a little bit longer with these ones. For the collective. What is it that means to be known? That means to be known. Don't be falling out, cards. Don't be falling out. We don't do fallout cards. It's not my style. Get in there. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on. Okay. The collective. All right. A little nervous here. All right, let's do this. Because, you know, I don't know this deck as well. So please bear with me as we learn this deck together. Because it has different symbolism. All right, so. Where's the collective here? First card. Wow. Look what we got again. Oh, I'm going to have to talk to your brother, sweet darling. So we got the Four of Wands. Sorry, I just noticed my chat's like blowing up with smiley faces. That's fine. You guys can spam all the emojis you want. That's fine. Do it. We're happy. So the first card we got for the Adventure Time Tarot deck is the Four of Wands, which is kind of funny because we just had the Four of Wands as our ending card for the energies for my Aquarian deck. All right, so what do we know about this? Look at that. I mean, this guy, okay. So this character, he's the creator of BMO, okay, which is the robot that lives with Finn and Jake, which I feel like BMO represents your inner childhood spirit, your innocence, your childlike wonder, right? And so this is the father of that guy. He created them, and he created a whole world actually of all these different robots, all the like, but BMO was the only one that he gave curiosity to. I think it was curiosity that he gave them, like true innocence. Okay, he's the only one that had the emotions in this way. Okay, but all the place that he built was so unique, and it was so beautiful, and everything had a place in his world, in the building that he lived in. It was like a big facility actually. Okay, and at one point he opens up a manhole cover, or like a door that goes down further into this giant building that he lives in, and it shows all these different BMOs, right? All these different robots like BMO, and they have these just like, I just remember this one where it's like they run and they jump into their little spot. You see this little hole, and it runs and it jumps into this little spot, and then it has a hole on top of its head, and another one jumps and runs and jumps in its spot, and it opens up a little flower. So like everything has its place. Okay, everything has its place in this world. There's a reason for it. Okay, and it's harmonious and it's joyous, because that's the whole reason that this guy built this place, was so that way he could, because he can't walk, see that he even has to have a robot to carry him around, and he just wanted family, and he wanted to be able to love and create these robots and give them purpose. right? So it's like that's the type of energy that this particular Four of Wands is bringing. It's bringing joy in a home. Like that's, think about it. It's about doing something in the home over and over and over again, right? You know, type of thing. That's what he was doing in his home. He was building all these different robots, and he was creating a family for himself. You know, that all lived in peace and harmony. That's what the Four of Wands is about. It's about an experience in that type of environment. Let's go ahead and pull the next card. Okay. What's the next part of the card? The message here, guys. I'm like stuck on that one almost, but no, let's go to the next one. All right, what's the next part of the message? Okay, we got the Ace of Cups. That's so funny. We got the Ace of Cups here. So we got the Four of Wands. So I'm almost reading it like we ended off with the Four of Wands. Okay, so they're still giving us a message almost about the energies for next week. All right, so we also have the Ace of Cups. So what is that about? This is like a timeline shift, right? This is a new timeline opportunity when it comes to love, when it comes to things that you're passionate about, when it comes to things that bring you joy. Because you see that guy right there? That's James Baxter right there. James Baxter used to work in a cubicle in a city full of a bunch of other horses just like him, and he was so miserable. And one day he happened upon this beach ball, and he started just running around on this beach ball, and it brought people, he was like entertaining people, and it brought them so much joy. You know, this was his first friend after he finally decided he wanted to quit the city life. He wanted to quit the cubicle life, and he was walking around this ball, and this bat was just like, oh my God, like that is so cool what you're doing, you know? And so they just traveled. That's what he did. He just traveled the world on this beach ball, and he would say, James Baxter. That's what he just says. He just says his name over and over again, and he just makes people happy. And so this is an opportunity for you to switch it up in your life, to create something better for yourself, a way of behaving, a way of being where you can have this joy, the same level of joy here as James Baxter has, right? A purpose. And it's when you do this, okay, it's going to attract the right people to you. All right. That's what it's going to do. It's the Ace of Cups. This is about your love. This is about your heart. I mean, look at that. He's like literally got like a glow around him. He's so happy. Look at that. Look at that. We got a Bathu. That's what I call bats, right? I always love memes with that word. It's so funny to me. Yeah. So next one. Okay. Yeah. What's the last part of the message? What's the last part of the message here, guys? The last part of the message for the collective. Okay. Last part of the message we got is the Three of Coins or Pentacles. Okay. This is a little bit more stable, grounded energies. Okay. So maybe like this one's a little bit more, watery, mushy gushy type of energies. We got the fire going. This is a fire energy. All right. So like this guy's inspired to make this whole entire home life in this one place. Okay. But for this one, Three of Coins, this is actually a particular episode I know specifically where LSP, Lumpy Space Princess, is putting on a play. She's putting on a production, okay? And it was called Warm Summer Showers, I think it's called. Okay, and so this is what they're having like a team meeting here about how they're going to create the play, how they're going to, specifically how she's going to create the just perfect raindrops for this character behind her here, this guy, okay, because he's the main lead, and she wants to be the lead, but Lumpy Space Princess is like, Lumpy Space Princess is weird, okay, and she's just like, no, I want it to be tree trunks, okay, there's a like older woman like, I want it to be tree trunks. It's the elephant who's like into conspiracies and all that type of stuff, which is hilarious to me. The whole alien conspiracy stuff that Adventure Time brings in. But she says, no, you're not allowed to do that, right? But towards the end, she ends up getting to be the lead anyway. So this is about building something. Okay, so you are creating something, you're making something, and it's real. Whatever it is that you're creating, it's definitely, it's gonna happen. It's a real thing. It's like creating a temple, or creating, in this case, they're putting on a performance, right? So whatever it is that you're working on right now, the thing that you're building, it's just at the beginning is the thing. It's just at the beginning. All right. You're not anywhere near the completion of it yet, but that's okay. You don't have to, but just know that whatever it is that you are building is real. Okay. And maybe if we're going to take the examples of who's on the characters on here, right? Maybe part of it is just saying like, you got to loosen up a little bit and let it kind of like, let the people fill the roles naturally, so to speak, because that's the thing. That's like this character, this girl, she actually was the better actress. She was, so yeah, go a little easy on that. I'm feeling like, okay, yeah, look, there's tree trunks on the bottom. You actually can see her little nose. There she is. Look at her. And what the problem was, Tree Trunks is married, and there's a kissing scene with Mr. What is this guy? Mr. Cupcake. That's who it was. There was a kissing scene, and once Mr. Pig, who is Tree Trunks' husband, found out about that, he was like, "You're not allowed to play. You're not allowed to be the actress in that play." And so LSP was going to take the role, but then she ended up being like, "Wait a second, you don't even know the lines, LSP. I've been memorizing these lines the whole time. Like, let me have this role." And she locks Loki Space Princess out so she has teleporting ability, is what it is, because she's a magical dog. So she just teleports her out of there, and they do the play, and he gets a standing ovation, and it went so well. Right, so it is gonna. I feel like we can take the symbolism from that. Then whatever it is we're creating is gonna go well, but you need to make sure you just go with the flow and go where you naturally fit in. Right. That's what Adventure Time has to tell us. So I like that message. Let's see. Okay, so what do we got? We got the Four of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Three of Coins. Okay, peace and harmony in the home. Things you're doing in the home. Okay, timeline shift of something that brings you joy in a different way. You're going with the flow. Yep, Three of Coins is like you're really creating something. This is building something that's going to be take time to build, but you're actually doing something physical, real, tangible. And eventually, as long as you follow your heart, follow your intuition, okay, and you lighten up a little bit on yourself, you'll be okay, right? You're gonna make something real. I feel like it's gonna have a good outcome. You're actually gonna really flourish. That's the I'm getting. You're actually gonna flourish. Mainly because of this joy energy that's coming through of what you're doing. Oh, I love it. Look how happy he is. Oh my God, look how happy he is. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm glad, Fred. I knew it would be confirmation if you want something, just because we're so in tune, We're so in tune. We're connected energetically. I love my collective, right? That's the thing. Adventure Time has a great episode on collective human consciousness, or collective, not human necessarily, even collective consciousness, and it's called The Mountain, right? I talked about this episode briefly before, but it's called The Mountain, and it's all of Lemongrab is basically going to, the mountain keeps coming up, the mountain, right? So Lemongrab is going to go to the mountain, and he's going to meet this etheric being that's like a giant cloud whose name is Matthew. And once he gets there, though, like Lemongrab turns on him, and you find out that Matthew is actually just a collective consciousness of a bunch of different entities, and they all fall apart from like Lemongrab separates them, and then they get pissed because they're like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, we're all just a collective, and now you just split us all up, and we're all in these separate bodies again now. That's not what we were supposed to be doing here. Like, we're this, cloud being, and we were guiding people spiritually. Now you just fucked it all up, Lemongrab." And yeah, it's a pretty cool episode. But yeah, I love Adventure Time for things like that. It's very esoteric. it's definitely she's still it's definitely got a lot of okay, hold on. It's got a lot of truth in it. It's got a lot of deeper meaning. In fact, the one episode, I'm going to just challenge anyone to watch this one particular episode and tell me if you can figure out what the symbology of this episode is, because it's the most puzzling one to me, and it's called Hall of Egress. I challenge someone in this stream. It's only 15-minute episode, 12, 15 minutes. It's called Hall of Egress. You can find it free on YouTube. And if you take the challenge, please come back to the stream and drop in the comments what you think about it, because I'm like, this is so fascinating. It's like I said, it's like that movie, The Holy Mountain. The Holy Mountain, I'm like obsessed with going over it right now, because I'm like picking it apart, and I plan on going over some of the things that I've been like digesting from it, but it's just one of those things where it's like you see it and you're just like, something in my soul resonates with this in a really weird way, and I need to understand what the meaning is. I need to understand what that deeper meaning is. Another sync for you. That makes me happy. We are on the same team. That was a strange movie. It's a fucking sweet movie. That's what it is. It's wicked sweet. Am I Boston now? Fucking wicked sweet. Yeah, hold on. It's like the kid that called the moth in his room moth you. Oh my God, that fucking clip, Victor. Oh, I could watch that clip over and over again. Think of the little kid when he's like cracking up. He can barely get it out. He's like, we named him Moth You. Oh my God, it's so adorable. I fucking love that one. Yes, it's adorable. So sweet, so adorable. Okay. I want to know what the sync was now, Cosmic Water Stories. Kind of want to know. If you want to tell me anyway. You don't have to. Don't feel like you have to say anything in here. I know, exactly. He's like literally tears in his eyes, just like, I love when kids get like that. Kids are hilarious. Kids are so beautiful. Oh, she's putting a bunch of blue hearts up there. I see that. I like that Cosmic Water Story. She says, I always imagine 4 of Wands as thick concrete foundations of a house. Yes, I can see that. Oh, I'm glad. In other words, I think I'm about to actually head out. You know what? It's all right. If you remember, you can come back and tell me. I love synchronicities. I feel like that is Spirit's sign for you when you get a really good synchronicity. It's like, okay, I'm on the right path if I'm getting those synchronicities, because literally, like, my life is flooded with them. Flooded. Thank you, Victor. I pray all of you guys have a great weekend and a wonderful next week. And yeah, I will be back the week after that. And hi, Jose. Thank you for coming. Thanks, everyone, for being here and listening to me and my craziness and the cringe and the embarrassment and the vulnerability and sometimes almost crying and happy, laughing. I mean, we're getting the whole spectrum here. And that's literally what I've been going through the past couple of weeks. It's been like, could we just pick a fucking emotion and stay that way? Like, not a bad one. Can we just get some fucking stability? Like, I'm like going like this. I'm happy, happy, happy. Oh, I feel like nothing matters. Oh, happy, happy, happy. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, like, this is what I'm doing. And I just want to level it out. Just level it out. You guys rock. I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for being there, you guys. I love you for real. Wow. I never would have. So if someone had told me this would be my life and I would have so much love and support being shown to me 6 years ago, if anyone would have told me this, I would have been like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, this is such a turnaround. I'm just so grateful for it. Like, all through the grace of God. All through the grace of God. Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot the Mars retrograde, too. That is, check where that's in your chart. You know, sorry, my nose was like sticking. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Chris is about to have a birthday on the 11th. I'm leaving on his birthday. So everyone wish him a happy birthday. And we also had another birthday that passed just a little bit ago, a couple days ago. It was Dennis. Got a bunch of Sagittariuses around here, guys. Sagittarius is a great energy, though. It's the opposite of the Gemini, right? So, yeah. Happy birthday, Chris. Happy birthday, Dennis. We got another one coming up, too. Matthew Mordian. His is coming up. Well, happy birthday to him, too. Yes. All right, guys. Sagicorn. Does that mean like you're on the cusp of the Sagittarius and Capricorn? That's funny. Yeah. Okay. Now we're just having fun in the chat. Okay, I'm leaving now, though, for real. All right, I'm going. Sarah Kitty is waiting for me patiently. So, and we've been here. How long have I been here? It's been what? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So we're good. We're good. Expect to see me again for part 5. For the actual wedding ceremony. Oh my God. The sacred marriage. Oh my God. Everything changed from there. Everything. My whole life turned into a magical, crazy joyride type of, like, I mean, it's not always joyous, but man, the magic, though, it's the magic. It became the most magical life I could expect, like, ever imagine. And on that note, I will see you all next time.